Dating online now is absolutely ridiculous.
Are on track to have the lowest rates of marriage by age 40 than any other previous generation.
Singles now make up the majority of adults.
30% of millennial women will remain unmarried by age 40.
Welcome back, everybody. What is up? Welcome back to the Aligned and Reclined podcast with your host, Jay.
And Erica.
And we are back here with episode 4 of the podcast, y'all. Episode 4. Today's topic we'll dive into in a second, but first I want to give a shout out to Third Eye Productions for producing what you see in front of you today. If you all haven't already, make sure that you follow on all of our socials on our YouTube to see all the edited versions of our podcast, as well as all the other stuff that we do. So it's down there. It's Easy Travels. And then if you're watching live on Kick, thank you for tuning in. Welcome. Welcome to the podcast, y'all. Today's topic, we are going to cover single men versus women and dating in 2026. Now, we put polls out on our Instagram page and we got a lot of feedback. A lot of people feel some type of way in the streets.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel some type of way. I mean, there's a lot to get into. How do you feel about today's topic?
I'm interested in it. Yeah, I mean, like I always see on social media, like either men or women complaining about like the dating scene or like being single or like what even dating is like nowadays. And so I don't know. I'm interested to see what it's like out there.
What are the streets talking about, y'all?
Yeah.
Let's see what the streets are talking about. Everybody in the chat, thank y'all so much for joining. Yeah, but we got a video that we're going to review today. It is a Counterpoint video. They do like a lot of versus challenges. I think it'll be real cool. So I think we can get off into that for sure. Let's get into it.
We've made it our mission to share conversations that are honest, unscripted, and grounded in real experience. We bring people with different perspectives to the same place for open debate and conversation. I'm your host, Ryan Price. And on today's episode, we have single men and single women. We now present to you Counterpoint. Nice guys finish last. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now.
If you don't agree with this, just be wary of what is all over Netflix, propaganda on social media, etc. I mean, there's a reason why a majority of the women watch like movies like or shows like The Vampire Diaries, and they're obsessed with the bad guy Damon, and then Damon becomes good, and now they're all back on Stefan because he's the bad guy. I mean, it is literally a term that is known and thrown around society today and has been around for years on years. I mean, perfect example is like, I have a couple guys that they're just extremely good gentlemen, treat their, they court their women, they take care of them, and the woman could just throw it right in their face like, yeah, sorry, you're too nice for me, and then they just leave them. So
I feel like he kind of just said all of it, to be real. I mean, I feel like in a couple times in my experience that's happened where I've been nice to a girl, and then like obviously like she passed me up for some dude who was like just trash, and like you chalk it up to the game. But like I've also had friends who have been in the same situation, so I feel like if it hasn't happened to you, you at least know somebody that it's happened to. So I do think it's a real thing.
I'm assuming the question is nice guys as in the guys on social media that whine about, oh, I'm such a good guy, I don't understand why no girl wants me. They do finish last, but for good reason. They're usually not the best mates, if you know what I mean. They're obviously whining and crying for a reason. Like from what I see, not statistically, but from an anecdotal perspective, to kind of build up what you were saying, like the female fantasy is that guy who has that capacity for violence, that tameable monster kind of thing. We hear about that, I'm sure, on social media all the time, but
the guy that has capacity for violence.
The violence guy.
That sounds crazy.
Right.
So yeah, dude, nice guys finish last. I feel like there's no doubt, just in like human anatomy and nature that women want like a guy with some edge to him. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
Like, yeah, like a little something. Like, but that's just, you know, that's the game. You know what I'm saying? The game is universal. The game is very
A
universal.
little some, like I at least want to know you could protect me, cause
Right.
like, you know, with being a woman and it's, you know, the streets can get very unsafe.
The streets.
The streets get very unsafe. And so like,
man.
hey, if you can protect me, all right. Like,
That's your take on it.
I mean,
But
that's
the
the
question
little
is,
edge.
nice guys finish last.
Yeah. But like, I kind of agree with this plaid guy shirt is saying, because those nice guys that claim that they're nice guys and like preach all the time that they're like the nicest guy, they usually have like some sort of like mean streak in them. You just gotta like, it comes out when they don't get what they want.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
even if them like being so nice to you and like anything you say, yeah, I'll get it for you, whatever, then
That's when Tyler starts hitting.
yeah, because then he's like, wait, you don't want to have sex with me? And then
Tyler starts hitting. Oh.
it gets a little crazy. But I do like genuine nice guys out there. I don't believe finish last.
Right. I mean, I don't think good human beings finish last.
No.
If we're keeping it
Because
real.
you can be nice, but you can
Right.
still hold boundaries.
Right.
Like you don't have, I feel like nice kind of just gets looked at as like, oh, you're so nice, like people can just walk over you
Yeah.
or
People
use
take
you.
kindness for weakness.
Yeah. And it's like, no, you can still be nice and a genuine good human, but still hold your boundaries and live in that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think those guys, they just haven't, either they are not tameable or they definitely just don't have that capacity for it. You know what I mean? They're those guys that like, yeah, oh, you can never hurt a fly. Well, that's not good, because sometimes you have to be strong. You have to be tough. One, life is hard, and two, if she wants to pick a mate, she's gonna want to pick a guy, like a traditional woman's gonna want to pick a guy that can defend her and her children that she might have one day. She's not gonna pick some guy who's keyboarding up and complaining about, oh, girls don't like me, it's because I'm 5'11". Well, I'm 5'10", and I can still talk to women. It's not that hard. Just because you're not 6 foot, you know, they're looking for that tough guy that is able to still be a gentleman. So yes, do nice guys finish last? The stereotypical kind, yes. Is it good that they finish last? Probably.
Okay.
I would argue too that majority of the time, like, we're not saying that good guys don't always finish last. It's just the simple fact that like that term exists. And a lot of the times, like, what comes to mind for me is like the term simp. Like that's our good guy
Those are the good guys.
definition in today's
Nice
society.
guys.
So a lot of the times women look at guys and they're like, I don't want to be like overly pedestalized by this man. You know, I want somebody that's individual and takes care of his needs and then can also bring me along and then take care of me as well.
And I think that's a great time to hear what the women think and our women. Quickly, I'm gonna get our last gentleman's comment and then
Good versus weak is what I was more referring to. When somebody says like the good guy finishes last, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the weak men finish last. I think that the people that aren't seen as being able to support her properly or be able to stand in a position of relationship where, you know, she feels protected or comfortable or able to express herself the way that she wants to. And if you're gonna sit there and be this good guy, what people think it's like more as this weak person who can't, you know, provide their end of the relationship is what I typically see. So, because I know a lot of quote unquote good people that are in that finish line of like what I want, and like in marriages, you know, they have kids, they have families, all these things, are really great people, but they're not weak in the same sense too. So I guess I more so agree, but it's what is your definition of good guy?
yeah, it's in the wording. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, and just whoever would like to start over here.
I think I agree with what you guys said about putting a woman on a pedestal can kind of be a red flag. Past relationships, the nice guys in those, they did put me on a pedestal, and I feel like the lack of ambition for their own personal goals was a red flag. I'm a very ambitious person. I'm very career focused.
It hasn't been said directly yet, but in any relationship, you should always be the main focus, and not in a selfish way, but in a way of being okay and in tuned as a person, not being perfect,
Yeah.
but like you should be self-aware and knowing and understanding and feeling your own emotions and dealing with yourself before you try to get with somebody else. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what ruins a lot of relationships, but a lot of people always misconstrue working on themselves as being Mr. or Mrs. Perfect.
Yeah.
And that's not it.
No.
But like you have to be, because it's never perfect. Perfect isn't the goal. The goal is to understand yourself and to be able to regulate yourself and give yourself space and room to grow and be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest manager in my company and district manager. And so to have someone that settles for bare minimum, to me, that's a red flag. I have a lot of goals and dreams. And for someone that just kind of goes along with those but doesn't have their own, I think is a real turnoff for me. And I think that's what happened with those nice guys.
Okay, I feel like there's so many layers to the term nice guys finish last. For example, you'd mentioned like simp. I've actually never heard any woman around me refer to another man as a simp. I also reject the idea of needing like a super masculine man that's gonna come and save me and be my knight in shining armor. Yes, I'll read romance books where there's a strong man, but is that something that I actually want? No, when I genuinely tend to think of like masculine men or like someone who's overtly extremely masculine, I think domestic violence. So I tend to actually like a more of a feminine guy and a nicer guy. But like one of the guys here had said earlier, I think a lot of guys say, oh, I'm nice, why don't I have a girlfriend? If all you have to bring to the table is the fact that you're nice and nothing else outside of that, that's not enough for you to just like have a relationship. Like
Also, this term, I like a more feminine guy.
That's interesting.
Right? Like I feel like already, like topic dating in 2026, men are being demasculated, and like not in the male chauvinist type way or the alpha bro type way. Like men are being lessened as a species, as a presence, as an existence. Like men, like what it means to be a man, not in a chauvinistic way, but in a providing and like essential part of a role and a purpose. Like men are being demasculated to the core, and it's crazy. Like why can't you say why can't you say I want a more understanding man? I want a more emotionally intelligent man. You want a more feminine man? Now, if that's what you're going for and like that's what you like that's
your
cool.
style.
Right. Like that's cool. Like if you like that type of person, like I like a more feminine man. But I feel like, that type of language nowadays is getting thrown around, and it's really fucking up the game, because it's like I want a more feminine
Or
man.
like softer man. I've
Right.
heard that.
Like, no,
Soft
say that you
man
want a
era.
man that understands you. You want a man that's for you. You don't want a feminine man. You just want a man that's able to listen to you. You don't want the stereotypical non-emotionally unavailable man.
Yeah,
you
we
want a
don't like
man
that.
that can talk to you and listen and engage you. Like that's the type of man that you want.
Yeah.
But a feminine man, that's crazy.
I
And
mean,
think
but
we need
you
to
heard,
stop
I
that.
mean, but she's also just talking from experience, and you heard her
Right.
experience. Her experience from masculinity is domestic violence.
It's domestic violence.
So that's
right.
her whole deal. So maybe, her preference in man obviously has come from her experience with maybe very strong men in her life.
Right.
But I mean, can't really control that.
Right.
But
I
that's-
mean, you can control who you hang around and who you surround yourself with. But I mean, I get it.
core value you have, that's like something that people told you were a protector, people told you were a provider, and you built that mindset. And then you had a few women that were like, I don't actually want you to protect me. And now oh yeah, I'll just let the women on the subway get stabbed. Like, I don't know. It's just like, if you truly morally actually felt a way about that, it wouldn't matter who. It wouldn't matter if my mom, it wouldn't matter if God said something. If you truly felt that way, your behavior wouldn't change. If your behavior changes based on societal circumstances, then I don't think that's like a true traditional core value.
I'll hop. I get what you're saying, and I do agree, like in the sense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, where like, if you think you're a protector, right, and you see something going wrong, like if that's your value, you should protect them, right? Then on the same side of that coin to what they were saying, like you see it all the time on social media, the little TikToks and shit, like a girl drop her purse, drop her wallet, the dude picks it up and he goes to give it to her, she's like, I have a boyfriend. And then it's like, dude, like what the like, I'm just trying to help you. So it's like the media and stuff portrays that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like some people could get caught between that because it's like, yo, like I want to help you, but it's like, you know, they've seen so much of the media where it's like, well, if I go to help it, it's going to instantly backfire. I mean, like that prime example, like trying to give the wallet, I have a boyfriend. It's like, I'm not trying to holler at you. I'm just trying to give you your wallet that you dropped. Like I could have robbed you, ran off with your cash, but I'm trying to do the right thing.
We can talk about it, but first we need to get their first statements and also kind of bring it back to the prompt itself, right? I mean, this is great. It's just let's get to the prompt and then this will come out from after that, right? So let's get yours and then it's all you guys.
No, I disagree because I think, you know, like kind of like what you were saying, like there's a difference between good and weak. I want a nice guy. I want a good guy, you know, I want that quality, but they have to be able to, they can't just be so passive, you know, they can't just, it's kind of like the idea of like, oh, they're put on a pedestal, but what are you providing? You know, it's like, great, put me on a pedestal, but let me also put you on a pedestal, match my energy. Like, let's put each other on a pedestal and build each other up. But I think, you know, there's a vast majority of women, myself included, that like, you know, good guys want to be treated well, but also want like a man that's going to meet their energy. Like, I'm a strong woman. I need someone that's going to match that. So I do like femininity in men. I think that's a wonderful quality, but there needs to be a balance. Just like within me, there needs to be a balance of my femininity and masculine qualities as well too. So it's all about balance and matching energy, I think.
As pertaining to the prompt, I feel like it's just a certain level of attraction because like, I feel like this is just me personally. I don't know if they agree with this, but if I see you and I'm personally attracted to you, you could be the shittiest person in the world or you could be the best person in the world. As long as I have that like attraction to you and you don't it up, then we should be cool. And then I also feel like it's just this certain level of like masculinity. It's the difference between being comfortable in your masculinity and feeling like very toxic in it to where you feel like you have to be this certain person or be this certain thing or women are going to look at you as you're weak or this, that, and the third. Like, honestly, like me personally, I do want a masculine man. I want a man to sit there. I want to be led. As a woman, I feel like my job as a woman is to be led, not to be controlled, but if you telling me I'm doing this for your good, I'm gonna at least take a step back and be like, okay, is he doing this for my good? Does he even have the qualities to lead me? Is he even able to be put in that position? So when we talk about all these nice guys, it's like you said, the difference between nice and weak. It's like, are you just doing this as a tactic of control? Or are you doing this because you really want to see me shine? You really want to see me grind?
There's something I want to see what you guys thought of, because based on like my understanding of looking into it, it comes down to like presentable value. So like if he's in a relationship with you and he's like putting you all the time, number one, I love you, beautiful, all this all the time, and not really anything about him, they say that would be him projecting that he has no value. Like you have all the value. No offense, I'm not saying you actually, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like, in men or women, they both walk away from people that provide too much of that validation. And I also read it's because people think that we want love, but what we really want is reward. So like it would hit a lot harder, like a slot machine. If you lose every time, then you win. You feel really good. If that person's terrible to you most of the time or not available most of the time, but then they are, it hits so much harder. And that's what we're really looking for. At least unhealed and immature people, which is a lot of the population regardless of the age. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with that.
I kind of build off what you just said. Sorry. Okay. You just said something really interesting. You said people want a reward. Well, usually reward always comes after challenge. So I think what really people want is they always want a challenge, but not an impossible challenge, but one that they know they can overcome. So I think a good partner does that. They challenge you. They challenge you to get better about your mental and physical health. They challenge you to get better about, building a family. They want you to challenge you about getting better about building wealth, building something together that you can pass on to your kids. So I think that's really what people want. And so like kind of going back to what we were talking about, putting somebody on a pedestal. When you put her on a pedestal, like you said, it doesn't challenge you at all. So that's why you get bored. Like look at people who don't have any challenges in their life, kids that, the trust fund kids that grow up but have everything handed to them. They end up just going through life doing nothing productive.
A woman's body count matters more than a man's. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now.
A woman's body count matters more than a man's.
I don't think that it matters.
It's if it matters more.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it matters honestly either.
Why
But
why would that matter?
I don't know. I mean, some people are really into it, but I mean,
Because like, the whole society thing, like it's more acceptable for the man to have a high body count than a woman. Like a woman's supposed to stay pure and all this stuff, and it's like,
when all reality, it's your choice.
right.
Yeah. So I don't think it matters. I mean, in the world of dating, like I mean, from a societal standpoint, especially like, yeah, women are kind of put in that light to think like, yeah, if I've had a lot of partners or more than I should of
Right.
partners, then, society looks down on me and it makes you less of a woman or a whore or whatever. But yeah, I mean, in my eyes, I feel like people are people and you're going to do what you're going to do.
And everybody has a past. Everybody's lived a life before they met you.
Right.
And so I think that we should be taking people for who they are now and not for past things.
I'm going to start with you.
This is not to disregard the fact that men can be sluts. That's not what I'm trying to say, but honestly, when I think about it, women mature a lot faster. Women really know what they're doing, and I don't mean to shame or anything like that, but I feel like it gets to a point. But personally, I feel like when it comes to like sexual relationships and sexual intimacy, that's supposed to be with somebody that you truly feel intimate with. And I know that not a lot of men feel that way, honestly, and they'll probably lay down with anything. But I feel like as a woman, you know who you want to give your body to and who you don't want to give your body to. So it's like when you're going outside of that comfort zone so much, or you've built this like tolerance to just sex to where it means absolutely nothing to you, it's like that. I don't think that's a good sign. So no, I'm not trying to say that like a woman's value diminishes the more bodies that she has or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like as a woman, you are kind of held to this standard. Like you should hold yourself to a standard is really what I should be saying. Like you should know not everybody needs to see your body. Not everybody needs to be in your body. Not everybody needs to know who you are on a personal and on an intimate level, because as a woman, that's supposed to be reserved for your man. You feel me? So maybe if all your sexual relationships have been inside of intimate, real relationships, yes. But when you just out and about and just and ducking, I can't support that. I guess that's my.
She's speaking from a place of her values
Yeah.
and the way that she sees the world.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
No, it's not.
This isn't about what you would do. This isn't about how you
This
were
is
raised.
just in general.
Yeah, we're this is a general opinion. And I believe that you can do whatever you want to with your body.
Right.
Seriously.
My opinion on it.
Okay. And is there one of you gentlemen that's ready to just get going?
Yeah, I'll get it going. I feel like a key that opens a lot of locks
Oh.
is a master key, and a lock that opens for any keys is lock. So, do what you want with that.
So I'll chime off of that just because it's really simply put. There's a lot of things that you could talk about in this conversation, but women control the sexual market. They control the dating scene. So if you are in control of that situation or that scene, if you're allowing yourself to have a multitude of men come into your life, have sex with you, and then they leave you, yeah, that's a red flag for a man who's looking for a woman with a lower body count. Now, with that being said, to add on top of that, statistically speaking, women who sleep with men, like 5 men or more, are more likely to divorce in their first marriage. It's like almost, I think, up to 80%.
Where's that stat from?
Oh, well, we can pull it up after. That's fine.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm like, where's this guy getting
Where are
these
you
statistics?
pulling this from?
Straight out of his ass.
Yeah.
This is something his buddy told him.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? His buddy in fifth
and
grade.
the guy that went first, he's saying about some key and lock shit. He read that on a fucking meme.
He did.
On Facebook and was
did.
like,
And it
yeah,
sounded good.
exactly.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
But I mean, to an extent, it's true. But like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Don't be throwing out cliches when we're talking about opinions here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need your list of cliches. But anyway,
I do agree with that guy saying that women control the sexual market.
Absolutely, they do.
100%.
It's the way it's set up.
I mean, he specifically was like a man looking for a woman with a lower body count.
That was weird. I mean, and then that's gonna lead into a whole different conversation about the high value woman and for a high value man and all this nonsense. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he was doing a lot there.
Yeah.
He was talking about a lot of different stuff, and yeah, I'm like, whatever. But yeah, those statistics were definitely out of that guy's ass because she even asked like, "Where are you getting this from?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
Multitude of different statistics that back that up. But yeah, I mean, end of the story, like a key that opens up a bunch of locks, like they present a ton of value. So, and I would like to refute off of what you said. You said that men can be sluts, and I would disagree with that. I would say men are the makers because at the end of the day, a man has a ton of value. He's gonna be able to be with a ton of women, right? But they're presenting themselves to him because at the end of the day, like in today's dating market, sexual market, women control it. So if men have that value and they're having sex with a lot of women, yeah, their body count isn't going to matter necessarily, to other men, but a lot of men in that way would look up to them and be like, dang, he gets a lot of women, so he has value. And then the same thing with women. They're going to look at him and be like, dang, a lot of women want him. So what does he present that allows him to obtain this many women? So yes, in that regard.
I think I might.
I think this dude's goofy, but he definitely has a point though.
He goofy as hell. But I kind of for a second there I didn't know where he was going with that, and I was like, "Where are you going with that, buddy?"
Right. I was riding with him. Like I said, he's goofy as hell, but I was riding with him. Like I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, I get what he's saying.
Right.
I have to just disagree with that just for a second. And I know I moved up here, so I know that I agree with the prompt, but I just have to disagree with that in a sense because if I get with a man and I ask him, like, mind you, body count does not necessarily mean too much to me, but it means a little bit, you feel me? So it's like, if I get with a man and I'm like, what's your body count? And he's like, 25. I'm like, dang, it's only 4 seasons in a year. You only 25 years old yourself. So it just makes me think, like, what situations could you have possibly put yourself into that you would have gave yourself up that much? Because I do think that a man's body count matters. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but I'm saying, like, at the same way that I'm supposed to value myself and who I give my body to, as a man, that doesn't mean that you don't supposed to value yourself as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all. I think a majority of men do like try to conserve their body count to be low, but a lot of people don't. In today's society, a lot of times you see people go out to the clubs and enjoy that nightlife, and that's what they do. Now, I'm talking in a general perspective. This isn't a personal perspective. So personally for me, yeah, low body count for myself, but I'm saying in general, most women are going to inherently, it's something to be, wary of is your body count. Because a lot of men who are conservative, who are religious, they're gonna look at you and be like, well, if you got 10 bodies, like, why would I marry you? Like, there's no need to do that. So yeah.
That's what I would speak on is like when you sit there and you think about a girl's perspective on it and a guy's perspective on it, like a guy's perspective is they do value that somebody hasn't gone out and slept with a bunch of people and given a lot of that to other people, where a lot of women, and not like specific humans that I want to point out, but I just know generally there's a lot of girls that are out there that say, oh, well, I can sleep with whoever until I'm this age and then I'll decide I'm going to settle down. And they don't realize that a lot of men inherently do not value that. They value that they've held themselves to a certain standard and they don't, just give themselves up. That's not to say that men shouldn't do the same thing, though. Like, I also, in the same sense, think that men should also not be just going around sleeping with a ton of different people, and then when they decide, oh, I'm going to settle down now, that, it's not going to matter to that person as well. Like, I think in a marriage, both of you should limit that amount of people that you've been with or that you've slept with, because kind of to your point earlier when you said, like, somebody slept with so many people that they lose that connection to be able to, if you're intimate with somebody, you can't connect with them the same way that it's supposed to be and what God intended it for. So if you're going to sit there and diminish that gift that we've been given, then it's not going to mean something to you. And then back to Nico's point, it's like, well, now because you don't cherish that, or you don't feel the same connection that you should, people are more likely to get divorced because they don't get the connections that sex was intended for.
I think a little more tactful way to put what you're saying is kind of women, like we've also kind of touched on already, is women are the gatekeepers. Also, like you said, you guys are the gatekeepers of the opportunity to mate. So I think on the surface level, if you're willing to have a high body count and sleep with all these different guys, then obviously your standards for what you are going to be intimate with are a lot lower.
I think one thing to point out here is that there is somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
So therefore, like the last guy kind of came in with like a little bit of a religious approach, like the way God said, and the way that the Bible speaks on, and that's good. you know, if that's what you believe in. But I think on a broader scale, like we're talking to all people,
Yeah.
not just like people that believe in a certain religion. Like we're talking about on a human level.
Right.
Yeah, there's somebody for everybody. Like there's dudes that would happily date women that have hundreds of bodies.
Yeah. And it's like,
Happily.
if you just never know, if she lied to you, just
Right.
because you don't know, you're fine with it. But as soon as you know, you start judging and like
Right.
putting these crazy things on to this person. And it's like, you loved them before you knew.
Y'all was just having turkey, bacon, and eggs this morning.
Right.
And now all of a sudden she's a whore. and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because now you know information and you weren't even there
And
for
even
it.
you know, you enjoying the sex and being like, wow, like this is amazing. But then when you get a girl that doesn't have experience, then everyone's like, oh my God, she just is a bored. Like, you know, you just hear about all this shit. So it's like, you're not happy either way.
Pick a side.
Do something.
That's just how that works. To go on a little bit of a deeper level, and I think more from your guys' perspective, is sex is way riskier for women than it is men, right? Anything that can happen to a woman after a bad sexual encounter can happen to a man, and then some. You know what I mean? Like the big thing being an unwanted pregnancy. Like that's a huge risk for women, right? Yeah, we have a bunch of, we have contraceptives, but still, it still happens. I mean, how many times do we hear about it? So there is that. You said, a man's body count does matter. I think it does matter. I think if I remember correctly, almost everybody here is Gen Z. I'm probably the only millennial here in the room.
Yeah, there's 99.
Yeah, I'm 94. So
First off,
I could
damn.
tell he was, though.
Like,
I could tell he was a millennial.
and dude, I get it, but like the
I'm
fact
also a
that even
millennial,
right, the
so
fact that
calm down.
that's said and like established
I
in
know.
circles is
Well,
disgusting.
I'm a millennial. Yeah, that
He
sounds.
said that was like the most boomer thing that guy could have
That's
said.
why then why then he said he's 94.
I'm the only millennial in here. Everybody else is Gen X.
Hmm.
Like, dude, you guys are the worst. And then now, like, and he's got the flannel shirt on. Like, that's not me, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy that we're in that age group, generational.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
dude, damn
I
it.
know.
Anyways,
years old, but I know I look at it, but I feel it. But it is one of those things that I've noticed too that I actually admire Gen Z for is a lot less of them are going and throwing themselves around than what I saw. Like even just, maybe 10 years prior, going through school of like girls would be bragging about the guys they've slept with, guys would be bragging about the girls they slept with. You don't see that as much anymore. So that's a way that I'm seeing society heal itself a little bit.
That has everything to do with our entire generation is in a spotlight now. Like
Exactly.
every single thing you do,
It's on social
like everybody knows about it. If you're out with a guy, there's going to be a post about it. If you're out with a ton of different girls, like you're going to see posts about it.
Exactly.
And everyone's constantly worried about that image that they have. So like you don't get to just fly under the radar and do all these crazy things anymore as much as you used to.
With all this talk about women, I think it might be valuable to hear what the women think.
I'm glad to hear that when I was standing back there that it got brought up that body count should matter for men too. Because I think it's important that because to me, sex is an energy exchange. So you have to be able to, like, I want to make sure that you have good energy before I give you that part of myself, right? Like, and that we can be reciprocal in that. I wasn't always like that, I suffered a lot of trauma from a young age. So my adolescence was a little risky. So does body count matter? No, because my body count, while it might have been on the higher side because of decisions I made as a teenager, that shouldn't be held to me now because I've done the work, I've healed, I've grown. I no longer do that. So I don't want to judge anybody for decisions that they've made in their past. I don't want to judge anybody. A body count shouldn't matter because if you're making those decisions now of going out and sleeping around with everybody, then yeah, that matters. But because of maybe something that you did when you were a teenager and because of whatever reason, trauma, whatever, shouldn't be held against a person now. That shouldn't devalue them because who I was at 13, 14, 15 years old is not who I am now as, a grown adult. That is where for me, it's like, does body count really matter in that regard? No, because I'm not going to judge you for where you've been. I want to see you where you are now. So what are you doing now? If you're doing that now, then that's fine. Go live your life. I don't agree with that personally, and I'm not living my life that way, but I'm not going to judge somebody for what they've done in their past per se, in terms of the decisions because of whatever reason. Like in my case, trauma and abuse, which then triggered it to become, more of a pattern rather, So we should, not hold people to things that they've done in the past.
I like to state I've been celibate for a year just before I start this, but with the lock and key statement that was made earlier, I think this is a mindset that men hold. To a lot of men, body count does matter, but I think a lot of women are also wanting a lot of the men that are on the market. And personally, like for me, the same group of people that talk about having like post-nut clarity is never somebody I would ever take sexual advice from, because I've never experienced that a day in my life. If I had sex with somebody, if I looked at something, I never thought, maybe shouldn't have done that after. Like I was decisive in my choices of giving my body to someone. And the same way we talk about a lock and a key, I personally don't want a lollipop that everyone has put in their mouth. So it's like, you can say, it's different for men and women, but an extremely lustful man who has slept with multiple people, I think will continue that lustful behavior. And we've seen this with celebrity relationships. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. I mean, like, you can be as good of a wife as you can. And if you have a lustful man by you, he will pick the not choosable woman, the woman that is not marriage material, and he'll still cheat behind your back and go cheat with the one that is easily accessible. So I think like this whole, also, if I lie to you and tell you my body count is something that it's not, you have no way to prove that I'm not like telling the truth. So at the end of the day, I think it's truly a mental thing. If you're gonna say I want a partner who isn't sexually all over the place, you should hold that same standard for yourself, because to think that you're going to get into a relationship and all that's going to be magically gone, I think it's really silly to think that. If you are a lustful creature and you have sex with just about anything just to get your rocks off, in a relationship, you're probably not going to be able to just tone that down. Or
I'm in a relationship and a person asks me their body count, they're not the person for me. I think that's very childish behavior. As long as you're tested, we're adults, I don't really care. Not saying I'm going out and being with everybody, but I'm very to myself as a person. And if I choose you, I chose you for a reason.
That's a really good point too. When it comes to the whole body count thing, we grown, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We grown. Tested, clear, and understood. And communicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Other than that, I really don't care.
Yeah. Like, why do you want to sign up for that train?
Yeah.
But again, with the lustful thing, if you're having sexual encounters with 100 people, it probably shows in other aspects of your life and not wanting or not having enough in other aspects. And then also the energy exchange. I think giving yourself's body, both men and women, to someone, it definitely plays a part in your mental health. That's why everyone, no matter what gender, should be cautious of what you're getting yourself into. Also, women are at risk for higher sexual assault, rape, and I don't think it's anybody's place to tell them how they should heal. Whether that is, again, it's not the most unhealed version, but sleeping with people to get their power back, there's no room to judge on how someone heals. It might not be the right way, but to me, I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that.
Usually it's the man who presents the question and it's the girl who says yes or no.
Correct.
And if it's the other way around, it's basically, unconsensual, which is not.
Yeah, I only said it just 'cause I don't want it to be confused.
I thought I was hearing that wrong, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. Because I think to kind of look at it like, do men create it? I doubt it, because in nature, in every other creature, basically, every other species, the female ends up selecting. So I would say that it's a trend, so I think it's a safe assumption that it's the same for humans as well.
I would agree.
So you would agree? Would I'm curious to see your answer. Would you agree that women allow access?
I think, yes, but also if a man's asking 100 people, then...
Well, who's to say he's asking? I mean, he could it could just be. But the reason why I ask is just because you brought up the STD and the STI, scenario. But like, if women are presenting that they're answering the question to men asking, hey, the man's asking, can I have sex with you? And she's like, yeah, right? She's allowing the access for sex to happen. So majority of the time, it's predominantly women who are having sex more, which is why that STI and the STDs are spreading more, in accordance to your logic.
It's also...
I think there's actually statistics that disprove that.
I can't rock.
What?
I can't rock with them no more.
You're trying to say that women are the reason that STDs are transferred?
And that's crazy because I mean you have homosexual relationships and so much bisexual relationships. Like people are giving it to people. Like it's not
Right.
just yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how credible this guy is.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
If you're dating in 2026, don't be giving a fuck about what somebody's body count is. Like, take them for what they're showing you,
Right.
and who they are now, and move on with your life, man.
That like men actually are usually the carriers of STD, and I wish I had the statistic with me, and if you are like a sexy hot guy, if you are asking 100 women, you might get 50 of them to say yes. So, you know, is it necessarily the one woman who told you, yes, I'm okay with that? Is it her somehow fault, or is it the guy that's like putting his dick everywhere?
Well, that's going to be in the portion of accountability, right? You have to take accountability. It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
The man's asking, the woman allows him to do it, yes. But at the end of the day, you are in control of who comes in, which is why it refutes back to, a key that opens up many locks is a master key, but a lock that gets opened by many keys is a shitty lock. Like,
again,
that's the whole
I
point.
never want to put a lollipop in my mouth that you all have just shared.
Exactly. So in a sense, you would agree with us.
Where you say it takes two to tango, it does take two to tango, and it takes two irresponsible people to get an STD. So it's like, you know, again, even though I have allowed access to someone to come in my body, right? Because I said yes, somehow like it's more meaningful to me. It doesn't make sense to, I feel like, defend somebody. Again, asked 50 women or however many women in the club that they can, and they're just trying to bag some sex for the night. I think if anything, that is way more disgusting and much more questionable behavior sexually than someone who goes, oh, I like you, I'm into you, I want to have sex with you. If you have someone who's just giving it out because they just want to get it out, like, I think that's, in my opinion, that's grosser. Like, that's nasty.
What's interesting about this question is we're both gonna, like, both sides are gonna argue whether somebody should or should not value something. But at the end of the day, I talk to men all the time. You know, I get to see their perspectives. I also obviously talk to women too, and I get to see their perspectives. Like, I know men inherently value that somebody hasn't slept with somebody as much, right?
I said that.
So like that, yeah, they have a lower body count. So whenever we're sitting here thinking about, you know, the master key or, you know, the lock, when we're sitting here looking at those, at the end of the day, the men are going to get to determine what they value the most, and women are going to get to determine what they value the most. And when you jump into a relationship, I think it's important to be transparent about your body count, about those things. And if somebody's asking about those, it's because they value them. And it goes back to one of the first things that I talked about is like, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody and you're good for them, then you're going to share the same morals and values and all those other things. And I know just inherently men value that, and that's going to be something that when they jump into a relationship, they're going to want to talk about that. They're going to want to know that, you know, 35 other guys haven't been in a relationship with this person and slept with them. They're going to want to know that, you know, she is, I guess, more selective with that. She cares more about it, and she's saved that for something that, you know, means more to her. And it goes back to like the number of times that you've slept with somebody diminishes what that relationship can be.
I said that earlier, though. I think men have this thing of like wanting to own someone. You do not have access or own someone's past, and you could only hope.
But I can sit here and if you have your past and not you specifically, but say somebody says I've slept with 35 people. I know me personally would be like, I know that I cannot marry you because that is something that is going to bother me.
Hey, sorry,
I'm
gonna go on that.
Once again, I also have a question.
For me, that's as a guy, like, I'll say this. Like, if I'm, like, I mean, I guess because I don't care as much, right? But, like, I'm saying, like, if I find a girl, you know, like, we're hanging out, we're cool, clicking, and then she's like, let's say if it goes for a month or two, then I'm like, you know, what's your body count? And, like, for his example, she says 35. Like, bro, like, especially, like, how in her example, like, she said, like, if you're a female who did this, like, in your past, like, for me, if we are here and now, I was with 35 dudes, but, like, that shit happened 5-10 years ago. Like, bro, who cares? Like, that, like, to me, that has nothing to do with right now. Like, you did your shit, like, yeah, like, you know, but it's like, you can't go in the past and, like, change that shit, right? So it's like, to me, if I value as a woman, like, you got values that, like, I can see myself with. That one fact that you was, like, crashing, like, with lots of dudes back in the day, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, like, you were a hoe back in the day, I can't do this. Like, it's like, man, like she said, people grow, people change, like, you know, I'm trying to look at you and value for what you bring to the table now, right? What you did 10 years ago when you were 16, like, you know, it is what it is, bro. Like,
So after hearing all of this, are you switching sides?
I don't want to say
And
I'm.
that's fine,
I don't
because this
want to.
is
No,
an
no. I
open
don't want to say
thing.
I'm switching sides. I'm saying ideally, I would prefer a woman who hasn't been slutty or anything. But at the same time, like, if you have the values I'm looking for, and like, even if you say you was with 100 dudes, I'd be like, kind of like, damn, you know. But it's like, whatever, my turn now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go. You know.
I'd prefer the non-ran through, but I could take
That's
the ran
crazy
through
that
if
he
I
just
love
said
you.
it like that.
I'd prefer it not be ran through. But if it happens to be ran through,
But I think dating in, like, you know, the whole topic of today's podcast is like the struggles of dating.
yeah,
If these are like examples of single people, obviously they don't represent the whole population. But if these are the opinions and thoughts that they're having, I feel like are so like they just think it should be their way.
right.
Like it's
They're very
very
opinionated. Like
yeah.
they're very opinionated, like generalizations of a whole dating scene, like based on their personal opinions.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
It is weird. I don't
Yeah.
think that you should be going in with also that into a relationship. Like, oh, you know, my partner needs to look like this and be like this and only have like, you know, 5 partners, whatever the fuck. And like you
Right.
care about these certain things. Like, I don't think that's very realistic. And also,
Especially as time moves on.
yeah, and also, why the fuck are you judging somebody? If you meet somebody and you love them or you like them now, they had to go through shit to get to where they are now. And so
Yeah.
you can't be judging them for that shit. They had to work through it. They had to go through it to get to this version that you love now.
Right.
And so yeah, who gives a shit?
Like, jeez. Well, I mean, I think kind of where you're getting at with that is the high body count itself isn't really what matters. I think it's the why. Kind of like what you were saying. Like, if I was young and making stupid mistakes, young women, like, you guys are all kind of at that age right now. I mean, like, we're guys, especially like guys who are sociopathic, not that most guys are, but like, there's a very small, like, percentage of guys that are very sociopathic that are just going to use you guys for your body. And they're very prominent in the dating scene. And it's very annoying as a guy who's not that guy, because every girl who gets played by so many of those guys starts to think we're all the same. And so kind of going back to the high body count thing, like the higher your body count is, most likely, yeah, if you've got a body count above like 35 and you're in your 20s, I doubt you've been in at least half of those as a real relationship, for one. But again, it kind of comes back to the why. Why is the body count high? You know, it's to me, it's more of like a little like footnote, like, well, we'll come back to this later. But again, if I don't find that out until like a month in, at that point, I know whether or not you've healed. I know whether or not if you're Christian, if you've repented, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I know that, okay, she's made that change in her life to where she's not going to be a problem. One thing that you kind of notice in a trend is men kind of want a woman that makes them feel special, which I kind of think is why subconsciously the low body count comes in. And then women kind of want a man who's desirable amongst a multitude of women.
Yeah, where does that come from?
I can back that up. It's pretty simple. Like 80%. So if you take 100 men in a room, right, 20 of those men are going to be sleeping with multiple women, right? If you have 100 men, 100 women, right? 20% of those men are going to be sharing that multitude of the 100 women, because 80% of those men can't even get a conversation.
This guy trades crypto.
Yeah, he's really coming in with the percentages and shit. Feel like he needs to be like drawing a fucking graph and
man.
whatever.
Yeah.
And where are you getting these statistics? Like, is this what you do? Like, do you look into this shit?
He just trades crypto, and
right.
he just has all the numbers in his head for
Yeah.
everything. And look at how they all are just
Yeah, they're all dead in the face because they're listening to this guy.
They're
and,
like, this guy
right.
again. I'm really ready for him to change the prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get into the real here, y'all.
Come on now.
Talk about these real struggles.
With you in the first place. Like a lot of men lack just the probability to even communicate with you. And a lot of times, a lot of women will just disregard a man coming up to them if they're the same height as them in heels. Like it's unbelievable.
That goes back to the nice. It goes back to the nice guy.
You two have kind of already answered it, but like you two gentlemen. So I'm curious, because like in my example, like you were talking about the why, right? So I would say the vast majority of my body count occurred from a teenage, when I was very, very young, you know, up till 16 years old. Then around 16, I started realizing, no, this is not how I want to live my life. But that occurred because I was sexually assaulted at a very young age. We were kind of talking about your way of getting your power back and choosing hypersexuality, choosing to heal, you know, and then trauma that I also experienced at that time, just from other things, caused that for a span of 3 years of my life, you know? So 3 years of my life from 13 to, you know, 16, in that range, you know, I would say I slept with more people in that time than I have in my entire adult life, you know? So it's like, would that, like, if, for example, like, does that still, if the why was justifiable, I guess is my question. If the why was justifiable into, you know, why they had a high body count, and if they have those values, because we're talking about values that, you know, women could bring, I would say, yeah, it's valuable that there's a low body count. I think there's value in that. I can agree with that. But isn't there also value in self-awareness and growth and the ability to like come in and like reflect and choose to be a better person? Like, to me, there's more value in that. So I know you two have already kind of like talked about this, but I'm curious to see what you two would say about that.
Yeah, I think it's
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. And that's really what it is, because I mean, people evolve in the story. And I mean, that goes in a universal way of people evolving and changing into different people and finding out who they are and what they accept and who they want to be and who they inspire to become. Yeah, give it up for the growth.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's definitely valuable. I care more about that and what you've been through to get to where you are than your fucking body count.
Right. And I feel like initially in relationships, I mean, because it takes time to grow and it takes showing up to grow. So I feel like early in relationships, the thing that you should be looking most for in a partner is the willingness and ability to grow.
Yeah.
You have to see growth in their future through their actions. That is way more important
And
than a body
also,
count.
you need to be able to see them take accountability for themselves.
Right.
And actions.
Right. Like, you have to see this person show up. That's more important than how many people you slept with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And show up for themselves. First and foremost, before anything else. The ability to show up for them and how they present in the world, you know, because that's how they're going to show up for you.
subjective, 100%. Because at the end of the day, like for me, yeah, if you come into a relationship and you're like, my body count's 10, I'm not even looking your direction. You are literally like, I'm not even going to reply back to you after that. Just because like it doesn't matter about the why, and it's a perfect thing to talk about between men and women, because this is an equal opportunity, you know, opinion. You have to take accountability for your actions. You know, if I shoot somebody when I was 7 years old and they're not here anymore, you know, and I'm 27 years old, I'm like, hey, I've changed, you know, but you're still gonna look at my past and be like, wow, he still killed somebody, you know, like.
We can still take accountability and change the behavior. That's also.
I had something I also wanted to say. Okay, have y'all experienced post-nut clarity?
Yeah, we're men.
Yeah.
I would say it's real.
Me personally, no, just because like anybody that I'm with is, I'm in a serious relationship with. So.
Yeah, but I'm talking about even on the hub, you know, y'all experienced that?
What's that one?
She's talking about.
I know. About corn.
Bro,
It's talking about corn. Sorry, my mom might watch this. I gotta be stupid there.
Because I think most women, specifically, most women usually aren't just sleeping with people just to sleep with them. If we talk about satisfaction in bed, most women aren't even having fun. If you look at the statistics, most women aren't orgasming during sex. And I know personally, every person I've slept with was someone that I thought I was going to be in a relationship with. And like you were saying earlier, there are a lot of guys in the dating market who will proposition you. They know that you only want a relationship. They'll court you, and then once they get the sex from you, they dip. So was it my fault for like sleeping with so many guys, or was it like, oh, I actually tried to save myself for someone good, and I tried to like, I didn't sleep with just anybody. I slept with this person and I thought we were forming a relationship with each other, only to find out I was being played. It was the game. It was, you know, I was being manipulated into giving my body up, knowing, and the person I always let them know, like, if you don't want a relationship with me, stay far away from me. I don't want to just have sex with anybody. That's not what I'm here to do. You have to take accountability for that. Where's the accountability for men? Because this is something that I constantly hear men talk about. They talk about it's the love of the game, and it's the, it's the game, and it's
Well,
like.
women create the game though. It's like
Who
you guys
creates
are
the game?
It
women
takes
do.
two to tango,
No,
though.
it does.
Women
It
might be the
What
playmakers.
game?
Well, no, so I'll rebuttal back off this. You're presenting that where's the accountability? The accountability is like we're in a society that says having sex openly, whenever you want is okay. You have full control to wait till marriage. That's up to you. So if you don't wait till marriage because you got manipulated and that's on you, that's on you.
That's
right?
okay. I'm also not looking for a religious man either. So, that's fine. That's fine.
But you don't
I
have
get
to.
it. You're
But
religious.
you don't have to be religious.
No, but I get it. The whole waiting to have sex till marriage, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you gotta test drive the car.
But also, if we look at Gen Z statistics, we're having less sex than a lot of previous generations.
I see a lot of people where it's like they're sitting there and they're courting for 7-8 months, and then after they crack, that's it. That's the end of it.
That's what we're saying is that the crack is the problem. Is if you're allowing yourself to sit here and introduce a sexual relationship too early, that's what, like a lot of you guys have said, is the complication. That's the problem. Every time that the sexual intimacy is introduced, that's the problem. That's what's causing all these, issues within the relationship. Then cut that out, save that, and see what happens when you don't do that. And
I think the thing that is wrong is your perspective on women.
Yeah.
So you feel that is the woman's fault if the man also wants to crack?
No, I'm saying the man shouldn't either. I think.
Dude, this terminology is killing me.
I know.
I was like, wow,
Crack.
there's really a generational gap in between us and these adults. I was like, wow, there's other adults out there and they talk a little bit different.
Yeah, and also
I'm ready for the next prompt.
he's not making any fucking sense.
This guy's just talking in circles, man. He's talking out of his ass. We'll keep going. I'm holding in, chat, for the next prompt.
It's both ways. I think the man should definitely not want to do that either, because the minute I do it too, you're going to introduce that complication, and that's why if you are going to want a serious relationship with somebody and you've had all these serious relationships that ended badly because sexual intimacy was introduced too early, then maybe that'd be something that, hey, I cut that out this time and see how that relationship goes.
Can I ask you this real quick on that? Have you ever gone and bought a car, you never test drove it or nothing, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, here's the car, here's the keys, and you sign right away. You didn't do nothing, you didn't look at it, you know what I'm saying? You didn't take it around on the highway, none of that. You didn't pop the hood, none of
But a
that.
car and a woman are incomparable. That's
But
absolutely
it's like, I mean, don't really work. It's like,
You know what? This guy, he's saying, yeah, you're the problem in the relationship because you're allowing the sex. So just cut out the sex with the man and save that, and then there won't be any problem. That's what people did back in the day when they solely believed sex was only for marriage.
Right.
And then they got into marriages and it was so shitty.
They
Or
hated
the
it.
man had post-nut clarity, what they were just talking about. That
Right.
he's like, what the hell? That was it? Like,
I hate this.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
And
And they
it's
get
like,
together and they're not sexually compatible.
at all.
Like, you're like, I like this. I don't like this at all.
Right.
And now you're just married.
Right. Now
now you're
you're
like, well,
you're stuck in that. And so I like that that other guy brought up, well, have you ever bought a car and just never test drove it?
To compare a woman to a car.
That is a little crazy.
I mean,
but I get what he's saying.
I definitely hear him. But yeah, it wasn't that outrageous.
No.
Like he didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up under the standard of no sex before marriage, sort of thing, and that was really beat into me. And obviously, I mean, I didn't stick to that, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I would be married to somebody that I would have no business being married to.
Facts. Or just having 15 different marriages.
Yeah.
Or just trying to, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make sense. And that's why that older generation is going through that and going through so much divorce and been played through the system because of your values.
Yeah. Dating apps are not for dating.
Dating apps are not for dating. I think dating apps are what you make them for. Some people swear that they're on there for, legit reasons.
But see,
or
that's the
whatever.
thing. I mean, coming from my perspective, I was always on dating apps for legit reasons, but people, exactly. But then you would have the guys
they
be
say.
like, right, okay.
Right.
And then try and get with me anyway, and I would just turn them down. I'm like, no, like I'm actually like looking for something serious. But I can say I feel like the dating apps nowadays, yeah, it's just like sex. Like if you want to have sex with somebody, swipe right.
Right. If
you
you're looking for other people that are looking to have sex, get on this app.
like that's what I feel like dating apps have really turned into, and that's kind of crazy.
Right. But I mean, it's like, and then people even like rate the apps like through the experiences that you have with different people. Like, oh, well, on Bumble, it's like, oh, mid, like
Right.
Tinder's where it's
Right,
really
because
at.
like Bumble, I think the women have to reach out first, and like
Yeah.
they try to make them interesting.
And I mean, I feel like also like the human experience through it and people are getting cheapened.
Yeah.
Like
real cheap and just like less than, and also objectified as fuck, because
Men and
everyone
women.
men and women, because everyone's just looking at this person is like, oh, am I attracted to them, or like would I have sex with them? Yes, no. You don't even know this person.
Right. Because you're just at a glance looking at somebody that's objectively.
But like if you were looking for a good relationship, where do you go nowadays?
I say do what you like to do. Like if you're in a space, first it has to start
I
with
feel like
you.
my mom always told me that.
It has to start with you.
Meet a man at church.
I mean, I said what you like to do, not go to church.
I mean, how did I get with you then?
Tinder.
Was I doing what I like to do?
I don't know. Sure. I mean, I allowed you to be yourself. You didn't have to do anything else. But I'm saying, like, as far as meeting people, like in today's world, I mean, technology has made a lot weird.
Yeah.
So I feel like to be honest, I mean, you have to do the things that you enjoy if you're going to meet somebody. Enjoy and also that align with where you're trying to go in life. Like if you're ambitious and you're an entrepreneur and you're single, go meet somebody at a networking event.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like go find somebody that has similar drive to you in life. If you love the beach and you love to be out in the sun all day, go to the beach and
And
go
you know
meet
what? If
somebody
you don't
else.
know what you love, then you need to not be dating.
Right.
And you need to be doing
You
some.
need to be finding yourself.
Yeah.
What
Some
it is you like to do.
inner work.
Right. And that's where it starts. A relationship starts with you first.
Yeah. Always.
Always within yourself. And then you can invite somebody else. You want to elevate that.
Yeah,
That oneness within yourself.
but
That's the only thing
I can
it's
only
for.
imagine how crazy dating is, especially on dating apps with like AI nowadays.
Yeah.
And like
It's just one big scam.
like you're scrolling and you don't know who's real or not, and then you got the whole catfish situations and shit like that, and like
I
it
couldn't
just
imagine.
gets weird.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I mean, it seems like nowadays to give somebody a very public piece of information about you, next thing you know, they've taken your entire bank account.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It seems like you give somebody a small little bit of information and they just digitally bankrupt you.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Or just
Or
scam
ruin
you.
your character or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. But yeah, dating online now is absolutely ridiculous.
But I think dating apps were meant for dating, but I don't think that's what they are now.
eHarmony was meant for dating. Tinder was meant for fucking. It's Tinder. What's Tinder? It's Tinder. It's Tinder. You know what I'm saying? It's got a flame next to it. eHarmony was blue. It was nice. It was inviting. You know what I'm saying? It's red.
Christian Mingle.
Blackpeoplemeet.com. Thai Cupid. That's a big one here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Thai Cupid. I know a lot of Thai Cupid relationships out here.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And then you even look at that, that's a whole different standard of dating from like Western dating. 'Cause,
Yeah.
dude, Thai Cupid, I mean, hey, no disrespect to anybody that's on it. No disrespect to anybody that's found a partner. But it's like a 1980 Sears catalog.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like and then it's, just printing documents and files and like you get a person. It's kind
Yeah.
of like something like mail order.
Yeah, which they have. I feel like they have that here. There are services that will hook you up with.
Oh yeah.
Thai women.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want a Thai wife. And they say, okay. And then they just open up the book. We have this age, non-smoker. Oh, you're looking for a smoker? Okay. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's mind-blowing.
It is.
To be honest, but I mean it's also reality and a part of topic subject. But yeah, let's get into it. Dating apps are not for dating. Let's see what they got to say about this.
Dating apps are not for dating. I'll start by bringing everyone that agrees now. Why are dating apps not for dating? I mean, it's in the name. Why do you guys agree they're not?
I feel like maybe that's the intended purpose. Like you're coming on here to look for somebody to date, but at the end of the day, like you guys said, it's window shopping. Like you're sitting there window shopping for who do you want, and I think it's just based off like just face value attraction to the point where it's like, and I'm not gonna lie, like the only time I'm very young, but the only time that I've ever been on a dating app, it's just, damn mom, let me just get in there. I'm like, oh yeah, like delete, like on some real stuff. Like it's not. I would say maybe that's what it was made for, but is that its intended purpose now? I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And this is a hard one for me because I agree and disagree with it because yes, the intended purpose is for dating, is to meet people and all of that. And I do think there's a lot of people, like myself included, if I download an app, that is what I'm looking for, you know? And so I do think there is a lot of people that still hold that value. But I do feel like the more that I've been on the apps, the more that I've interacted with people, my own personal experiences from it, I think the intention is kind of shifted because like what you're saying, like I can match with somebody immediately, like drop me your Snapchat. I drop the Snapchat and I get dirty pictures immediately, or I get, like it's, so there's people, yes, who do have that intention to date and get to know people. I would agree. There is that out there, but there is a vast, 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 vast majority of people that really are just looking to hook up, or if it's not just to hook up, looking just for a little bit of external validation. Like it's not even just to date or like actually build something meaningful. It's just to find someone that they can talk to for a little bit to fill a void for them rather than like actual deep connection.
Yeah, I think for women, the dating app is for dating. I think for men, it is just a way for more women to get attention. And I can statistically back it up, specifically speaking on Tinder. I think it's 80% of...
This man hates women.
Low key.
I thought he was gonna maybe put some accountability on the men. No,
it was all women.
It was all women.
It's a way for women to get more attention, and in an aspect,
he thinks that women are on the dating app for dating. He believes that, but then he also says, "But it's just a way for women to get more attention."
In a way, it is. In a way, it is because I know I wouldn't say that that's the sole motive of it by any means, but I think there's a lot of women that know that you go on to dating apps and you're talking to these guys with no intention of actually hitting them up. Just having hundreds of men in your inbox is stroking your ego for sure. Because like I remember I was talking to a girl, it was like back in 2018. And she's like, I just re-downloaded Tinder today. And she was like, do you know how many guys have inboxed me today? And I was like, what? I don't know. 108. She downloaded it maybe like 7 hours ago. 108 guys messaged this girl trying to get with her. She's not going to link up with any of them. There's no intention. It's just stroking her ego. But do I think
who's doing the stroking though?
The men just constantly just flooding
in. So like,
in.
why is it the woman's fault that the women?
I mean, that's what she's there for, though, because she's not there to hook up. She doesn't care about what these guys are talking about.
She wouldn't be there if men didn't do that.
But I mean, she's there for that. Exactly. It's not that men do it or don't do it. I mean, that's what she's there for because they do.
They're promoting it.
Right. But I mean, also dating apps just help with that. So they know, like, even if a girl is quote unquote unconfident in real life, dude, you can be a star on Tinder. You can be a star on Tinder or Bumble. Did the girl have to message first?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And even that, like, that never really, like, I tried it, but it was all stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's all tried just a bunch of back and forth
all the dating
games.
Apps are stupid.
It's a game. Because, I mean, you're on your phone swiping. There's no real intention.
No.
Like, I'm here to, it's like playing the lottery. And then, this guy's weird, though, man.
Users on Tinder are men. versus the other 20% are women. And like I said, you talk about the probabilities of it, like we said earlier, the window shopping. I would agree it's probably window shopping for men, but for women, it's just the validation. It's getting the likes, getting the swipes, seeing the number at the bottom of the screen just build up, and you're like, wow, I do have value in this society, and multiple men, think I'm attractive. And at the end of the day, too, you could take it a step further, and because of that, because more women, obtain that attention, because majority of the men on Tinder don't get that attention. They're probably getting maybe 5 to 10 swipes maybe, and it's on somebody that they probably think is not attractive in any way, shape, or form. I mean, realistically speaking. So yeah, I think for women it's a dating app. I think for men it's absolutely not. And I think, yeah, in that perspective, that's it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a dating app. So like I've used it, right? Used Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all that. I have had relationships from it, that was cool and all, but no, I mean, I feel like a lot of times if I download, I'm just trying to, I like to just look at it. I mean, like, I feel like finding a relationship would be nice. At least for me, I haven't had the best luck, and I just feel like sometimes it's cool to just go on there and look, just be swiping through. But yeah, I don't think it's for dating at all. Like,
I mean, yeah, to kind of build off, I mean, you say dating apps are not for dating. Yes, it's in the name, but I think there's like the factual truth, and then I think there's like the objective truth, right? The objective truth is what's actually happening on those apps. People are just looking to hook up. I think I have kind of a unique experience because I've been single now for just over a year, and the last year, I kind of waited a little while to get into the dating apps, and then I started to notice something had changed in the 5 years I'd been off the market, and so I really started diving deep, and I was like, I'm gonna do this huge thing where I'm gonna go through all the major dating apps and figure out like what's going on here. And it is way worse sometimes than just hooking up. The amount of women I see plugging like their certain links all the time, it is ridiculous. Because they're like, oh, follow me here. And then you go follow there. And
That's a huge thing. Dating apps, especially for men, it's all become a source of monetization. Like
Yeah.
nobody's actually looking for
If
real
you want to
connection.
talk to me, you're gonna pay me.
Yeah, you're gonna pay me. Oh, you want my phone number? Here's my Cash App, and then I'll give you the rest of the digits to my phone number. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine. I'm really I'm glad to be out the game. But for real, because
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of nonsense, man. And I know that happened like over COVID. And that's why, we're highlighting 2026, because that's the time that we're living in. And coming from a time of different proportions is crazy. Like, because, like the dating scene in like 2018, 2017, whatever, I felt like it was going to be that way always. But you don't realize, like, as you grow, everything's ever changing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I don't even think you could successfully get on Tinder now and like actually link up with somebody without getting scammed in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to trust it. You wouldn't even know if somebody's like AI or not.
Right. You're just talking to a computer, man.
Yeah.
And the whole time they're stealing your information.
Yeah.
They're baiting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that one. But I mean, and it's I feel like men and women, because like, these guys that go on like older women's profiles and like go and scam them out of all their money and doing all this fake, scams have been a thing since the beginning of time. But now I feel like every time I open any piece of technology, I feel like I'm being scammed. Even looking at like online jobs.
Yeah, online jobs. I've been scammed for an online job.
And that's crazy.
So, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like trying to find employment. Like when I was coming up, like you could build an online resume on Indeed. And like it was a thing, like it was a power statement of, being out in front of these companies and potentially hearing back. And I would never have thought that like people would be creating fake emails for fake companies to siphon information out of people that are trying to find employment.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But that's also what the dating world has become.
Yeah.
Dating. It's an avenue and a funnel for scams.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess you will just have to be doing what you want to do to, like, find people that are also doing that as well.
Right.
And try and meet somebody and, I don't know, maybe join some groups. Like, not dating apps, but they have, like, social media groups that are doing the same thing or have the same hobby. You can get into that. But, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, we'll see what else they gotta say. We're closing in. We're wrapping up. So we'll see what they gotta say.
Like, oh, come look at me here and chat with me here. It's, dang, another one. And so many of them are bots too, which is crazy. And it's just, it's gotten to the point where like, do I have a couple dating apps right now? Yeah, but I'm actually just having fun right now. Like literally the theme on my Hinge is I like banana bread. Like everything is banana bread related. Just because it was like, you know what, I'm trying to find a soulmate now, you know? Someone who gets my sense of humor.
So back to the Tinder study. So they do like $1.9 billion annually. And out of that, obviously, like I had stated before, men predominantly are the users on Tinder, and half of the men on Tinder actually purchase the gold subscriptions to be seen more in the dating market so they could get more matches, and it ends up backfiring and it's just a waste of money.
Full tinfoil hat, it's not for dating, it's to make money. It's a massive market now. It's just to get money out of men.
And at that point, let's bring up everyone that disagreed.
So I actually kind of changed my opinion while they were talking, saying that was the original intention, but kind of got misconstrued along the way. I think I've downloaded Hinge and I keep deleting it after like 24 hours. So that's why I really don't. I get the intentions, but the people on there just aren't for me. I like the in-person conversations. I work like 60 hours a week. I don't have time to go out to a bar or a club and talk to people the old-fashioned way, and that is kind of sucks with that. Online dating isn't really much better at this point.
I think online dating is what you make it. So like there are so many different things that you can do to switch up your Tinder profile. If you're actually looking for someone that's dating, they'll usually have it in their bio. Oh, I'm looking for something long-term, or I'm looking for something short-term, or I'm just looking for some fun. I think dating app, I mean, I don't know what y'all consider dating, but like, I think dating apps are used for dating and they are used for sex. But I think to an extent, as a woman who I've used dating apps, I feel like most men that go on dating apps don't try. So like, what I mean is like, I usually see a guy, he got those like Fisher goggles on or whatever, in half of his pictures, or half of his picture, his head is turned to the side. I mean, I've literally seen guys that I've swiped no on because they took pictures that were so awful. But when I seen them in person, I would have been like, oh, you're actually way more attractive than the way that you presented yourself on. I've had 2 different occasions where I swiped no on someone, seen them in person, and I was like, oh, you just can't take a photo to save your life. Like, it was just like, oh, you only got like funny photos, goofy photos, you're wearing a night hat, you got glasses on, you know, or you're showing your Bugatti in the back or something, but it's like, I can't actually see your face. And if I do see your face, it's at a terrible angle. You're purposely trying, like, I've seen it a lot where guys will literally purposely go out of their way to give themselves double chins because I guess they think it's funny. But like, if we're going off looks, like, put your baddest photos on the floor. And most guys, from what I've seen, they put like the most dog photos on their profile. So that's just my advice, and that's also how I feel.
Photos too.
I have something to add because of that. So I've had that come up. In fact, I've actually had that exact story. You know, oh, I would never have swiped right on you if I didn't know you in person because your profile makes you look way worse. Yes. I was like, ow, all right, cool. But she didn't even say I looked better. She just said I'm actually funny in person. So I was like, all right, so I'm ugly. I get it. But to that point, you're saying put your baddest photos. Guys don't take photos a lot. Like, how many times, like you said you're in the Army, right? Yep. How many group photos did you take with your like fire team, your squad?
The last one when I retired.
Exactly. I was like, we don't hardly take group photos. Like, I see so many photos of women in the group. I see so many photos. It's because I think with the way social media is, women take a lot more photos than guys take photos. Like, if I take photos of myself and I'm at work, like if I'm Snapchatting with my boys. So of course I'm gonna be doing double chin. Of course I'm gonna be making fun of something.
That's a skill issue, because I'm not gonna lie.
It is a skill issue.
I heard a lot of complaints about like, oh, men not getting, you know, access to women, but it's also like, if you know you're gonna be window shopping, you're gonna be window shopped for, why would you ever put a picture that you took on a toaster, like, and put it on for people to see? Like,
because it goes back to what I said before. Majority of the men actually do try when they actually get on dating apps, and what ends up happening is they never get swiped on.
Pull up Tinder right now, I promise you.
But
they're not trying for those photos. I've seen guys, like multiple guys, who will literally take 6 pictures in the same day, in the same mirror, you know, switch up the pose. And I'm like, you literally didn't try at all. Like a lot of guys, that's actually what I find. I usually find that I'm swiping no because I'm like, half the time I can't either see the guy's face. That's a lot of guys will hit you up on social media. Every picture on social media, they've got their hand in their face.
Y'all's perspective on this, because
Question.
guys' profiles are horrible.
Did you get to speak yet?
Yeah, I didn't get to.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it seems like it's unanimous that there's two truths at the same time. Like one is it is used for hookup culture, and two, it is used for, you know, trying to date and marry and all those other things. The thing that I see that's so interesting is as just kind of a hobby that I've always done is I've DJ'd weddings, done hundreds of them, and one of the things that I do is I sit down with the couple. I have a pretty long conversation where I am asking them, you know, how'd you meet? How is your, like, just get dynamic on the relationship, because it's my job while I'm there emceeing the wedding to make sure, you know, I'm making it personal and I'm making sure that they're having fun, all those other things. So I ask all the time, like, how'd you guys meet? What's that story look like? So you would be so shocked at how many people meet on social medias. Like it's unbelievable. It's more often than not. And so when you sit here and you think, okay, you know, it's just used for hookup culture, it's just bad, it's just all these things, like I agree, there's a lot of that on there, 100%. And there's no hiding it. And that's why you said when you set preferences, you can see just at face value if somebody is not looking to hook up. You know, if someone's short-term relationship, we know, okay, that's obviously they're not looking for marriage. Someone puts a long-term relationship and all these other things and values and stuff that they put on there, we know what they're going for. So like the certain people are gonna find their niche of, hey, this is the group that's looking for the same thing I am, so this is who I'm gonna pursue. But the same thing can exist at the same time where there's also this hookup culture around it. And you see that all the time. So it's like it diminishes what is that app actually used for. So the social norm is like, oh, you use dating apps and all this other stuff. Like, so it is thought of negatively, but go back to like our generation, we drink less, we go out and party less, we, you know, aren't these super like social creatures in the sense that we used to be, like drinking alcohol and being in all those different settings. And because that's not true anymore, these dating apps have become more prevalent, but then we also put these negative stigmas on the dating app. But I get to see a lot of times the good side that comes from it too. So it's just making sure that your heart posture is in the right spot for what you want it for. If you wanted to use it for hookup culture and all those other things, you're going to do that. And then if you're using it you want to date somebody, make that very prevalent and known in the conversations that you're having with those people. I don't get to see the women's perspective on what men's profiles look like. I bet they're hilarious.
Oh, can I share what I just saw? Literally 2 days ago, a man posted a picture and he's literally sitting on the toilet. And like you can see pants on the ankles, like everything.
Bros, like
I'm gonna attempt to do something real, and it just depends on how much you guys want to participate. The question is that I want to ask everybody: why do you think you're single? And if it's just because you're not looking for anything, then that's all you have to say. If you are looking for something and you have the courage to say that you are, even though you haven't found him yet, that would be kind of cool. This probably is gonna come out on Valentine's Day. If we did everything right. Aww. That being said, if you haven't paid attention yet, if you want to learn how to find someone, and you're single right now, both sides have pretty much laid down exactly what the opposite sex thinks. So you could take this, and Counterpoint could be the result of your future happy relationship. So with that being said,
why do you think, or why were you single when you met me?
I feel like when I met you, it was a little different. I was on dating apps to meet somebody, and I was single because I had, dated some people that I found on dating apps, and like it just didn't work out. Why were you single?
I was at a place in life where I was better to be alone with myself and to be figuring out myself and my own thoughts, because I just came out of a relationship, out of a long-term relationship. It was time to focus on me. It really was. I had to kind of get out of that and grow. I mean, yeah, we met on a dating app, but we definitely weren't dating.
No.
When we first started, looking for each other, it started off as Tinder.
Yeah.
And it didn't even just stop like there, like because we were doing that, we met, hooked up, separated, did our own thing, came back and found each other later. So Tinder was the way that we met, but Tinder wasn't how we got together or how we started dating.
Oh yeah. It's just how we met.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what the room has to say.
Why do you think you're single?
I think I'm single. One, I was very career focused for a long time, but now that I have built that, I've been learning how to kind of manage my time better. And I haven't had the opportunity to give that a chance, but I think managing my time has been a real focus in this healing year that I've been doing. But also, I have really weird hobbies. My house is very like Victorian type of style. I work at a thrift store. I have very odd furniture. I have taxidermy with like hats. So I will say I have weird hobbies.
First things first, I think I'm single because I live in the Midwest. I'm Black. I'm opinionated. I'm a lot of things that like I think a lot of men right now don't want, but I don't also only date men. I think the reason I'm single is also because I've actively like made sure not to put myself out there really this last year or so after being in like such a terrible situationship. I was just like, I actually don't care to seek out love. Whatever will come to me, and then I'll put it on the chopping block for whether or not it's for me or whether or not it is or isn't. But yeah, I think there's a lot of factors. I think I'm just like a lot of things that the dating market rejects right now, and I'm okay with that.
I think that I'm so single because I'm not settling. I know what I need from a person, and I know what I want from a person, and so I'm not going to get into any type of relationship just to fill a void or a need or whatever. So they have to meet my needs, and I think, you know, I've been divorced now for 2 years. I think a good chunk of that time was intentionally being single, of just really trying to like be myself. So now as I've like started to get myself out there, now that I've learned what I need, what I want for my life, what I want for my daughter's life as well too, you know, I know more of what I want. So I think it's, for me, the hardest thing of the needs to me. So if y'all are listening to this and want a tip of what, you know, is important, I think it's emotional vulnerability and emotional availability is a big thing. I think it's really hard for me as a very emotionally intelligent person to connect with people. A lot of people aren't able to connect on that depth level intimately, like emotional intimacy. And so that is, I think, what's kind of has been lacking. That's made it hard for me, at least, to find that person, because I'd say that's just such a core need. But essentially, I'm not settling, and I'm just, you know, gonna wait for the right person.
I know that I'm single because truly at heart, I'm the problem. Took a lot of the defensive coping mechanisms from my last relationship and I start to throw them onto other people. So truly, like, you don't really want to be with me, honestly. And then when you think about it, like where I'm at right now at LSU, the dating market is like trash. Like, it's kind of just like, excuse my French, but it's a little slutty. So it's just like, I don't want anybody, in the same sense that you said you don't want to settle, I don't want to settle for somebody that's dating me and the girl down the hall. I don't want to settle for somebody that I see you at a party or I see you at the club and you were 16 different girls. Like, I know I'm the problem. So if you do that, I'm going to be toxic in return. So why would I put myself in that situation? And yeah, unfortunately, I can take enough accountability to say that I'm the problem and I'm going to ruin that for you.
I'd say I'm probably single definitely out of choice. I mean, definitely, like you've been saying, like theme is kind of going along, not wanting to settle is definitely part of it. Also, I work a lot. I work overtime almost every week. I mean, last summer, I think I averaged probably a minimum of 70 hours a week, plus going to the gym. I'm there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is where I spend most of my time not at home or work, is at the gym. And I'll be honest, definitely not approachable at the gym because I look angry when I'm working out. I don't know what it is. It's just how it is. So I'd say it's a lot of time is a big one. And then just, I don't really want to settle for somebody who doesn't, you know, match the just couple of things that I need for a good relationship.
I'm single because I met a girl in 2019 and we've been on and off since, but like, I don't know, like if anyone has ever been like the one or some shit like that, you know, people always saying they felt that shit. Like, to me, it's her, you know, and like me and her always end up coming back together. Like if you do any spirituality stuff, like twin flame shit, that like, that's where I feel she is. So it kind of comes down to like, I've met girls, right, that I feel like it's good to me. They have values and shit, but it's like, they not her. And so then it's just, I always end up just cutting it, right? I mean, like me and her, like we back on our own phase, like we've been hanging out since like October. So who knows? But like, I guess it's just like, because like I choose to go back to it, and I don't necessarily like think that's a bad thing per se, but like, I don't know, I guess, yeah, so I'm single because.
What happened to this guy's British accent?
But like it wasn't British, but then like he came up for one prompt and it was hella British.
Right.
And I was
switched
like,
it. He just switched it up.
Is that what that is? And then now it's just.
It's all a part of relationships. This guy is
right.
split personality.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get to diving into people. And after COVID, man, people got a lot more unhinged and carefree and really started coming out, which you should always be yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if they just edited that shit out, but like nobody brought that up. I would have for sure said, what the fuck?
Nobody said anything about that. Yeah, because everybody between the last prompt when he was talking like that and this prompt, it's like completely different.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dude, that's nuts.
You just stroke out.
Some.
Like, I just choose to like wait for her essentially. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would just say that I guess I grew up Catholic, something that I was in the church, all these other things. I didn't have a real relationship with God, didn't really read the Bible or understand a lot of it. And then after college, really these last like 4 years or so, I've grown a lot in my faith, and I've learned a lot more about my values and what I can allow, what I can't allow in a relationship, what's a non-negotiable, what isn't negotiable. And some of the things that I was passive about or was like, okay, I don't love that, but you know, it is what it is. I've changed that perspective now. And so I'm a lot more selective, a lot more intentional about what it is that I'm looking for. You know, I've had past relationships where there's been, I guess, what I would consider a red flag now that I was like, okay, you know, it is what it is, I'll deal with it. And now it's like, well, now I know I don't want that. That would be a huge reason. And then just making sure that that person has the same morals and values and all those other things, so.
The reason I asked you guys to do that is because 100% at some point during the time of this video being on YouTube, there's gonna be somebody that watches it, and whether you believe it or not, they're gonna be somebody that would be willing to love you with everything you just said. So in the spirit of love, Valentine's Day, this has been another Counterpoint episode.
That was really interesting.
It was. They did not hit all the points that maybe we would have hit personally on dating, or I would have hit personally on dating.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like they got a good basis out there for the current lonely people of 2026.
Which it sounds tough for y'all.
It does.
It sounds tough.
And make no mistake, by no means is growing and healing by yourself lonely.
No.
So if you don't have anybody and you are looking for a partner, if you don't want a partner, you have to realize that none of that matters, and the best relationship that you can have, most productive relationship you can have, is with yourself.
Yep, that's what should matter.
Yeah, 100%. Focus it on you.
But yeah, this did have a lot of a younger generation in there, and so that's interesting to hear their perspective on like the dating, because like, you know, we've experienced it in our time, but with the generation below us, like what their experience sounds crazy.
Right. I mean, they're coming from a different place too. They're coming from a time, because I feel like online dating was kind of like taboo, but yet fun, because we were in the generation and the era where like it really started to come to life, you know, because people went from like desktops at home on eHarmony, or, you know, people even like Craigslist had their own like dating scene.
It's like they couldn't access it unless they were home, like
Right.
in their office, and now it's just on everybody's phone.
Right. And it's dispensable.
You could be
know?
out to dinner with somebody and be on there swiping.
Right. In closing, y'all, I mean, what do y'all think? Let us know in the comments.
We want to hear your struggles,
We do.
or just what you think of the dating scene.
Right. Your experiences and maybe some topics that we can expound on. We can open up the floor and get opinions from everybody. I do encourage you all to go follow our social medias on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and here on Kick. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're not already. In doing that, you will see our prompt for next week's show. But it's a really big show. It's a surprise, but we're working on it. We will be, of course, back here next Thursday at 18:30 ICT time. But if you want to know next week's prompt before we come on next week, go follow us on social media.
Yep.
So go add if you're watching here. Thank you guys so much for joining on Kick. You guys are the best. Much love to everybody that joined in, liked, supported, watched, and also let us know down in the comments, y'all, what you all think and how you guys feel. But until next time, y'all, it is always peace, love, and community. Peace. And we love y'all. And we'll see y'all next Thursday.
Bye.
Peace.